Hello, I'm Prashant Vizay. I work at the Climate Bonds Initiative in the UK.
What's the question?
So you just cue me that question.
So you ask if I can imagine a world with 100% renewable energy?
A world with 100% renewable energy. Can we imagine it? Yes, we can. Can we deliver it? I think we can deliver a 100% renewables-based electricity system by about 2060 to 2070. And by the end of the century, we can have 100% energy system.
I think from the recent IPCC reports, if we're going to keep our temperature rise down to 1.5 degrees, we have no option but to be 100% renewable by 2030 at the latest.
Well, as far as whether you can imagine a 100% renewable world, you have to just look at the objective facts. And the objective facts are that if you want to avoid a climate disaster, then I'm told that you need to go to zero carbon emissions for the world as a whole, net carbon emissions, by 2050.
I can imagine that. I think we've still got some challenges to overcome to get there. We've seen huge progress in some technologies. The price of solar and wind has been coming down very radically, and these can be deployed now, and they're more cost effective than many other technologies that use fossil fuels. And additionally, they don't give rise to things like air pollution, which are very damaging and have huge costs on our societies.
Whether we can do it or not, at the moment it doesn't look as if there is enough political will. But these things change over time, so let's see how it works.
We need to ensure that we have the energy to provide the development opportunities for countries, but also to decarbonise our energy supply at the same time.
It can be done. It may not be done as much as it should be done, but it should be done 5 to 6 times more than what we are doing right now. And that's really the challenge.
So we need to decarbonise our energy supply. That's one of the key challenges for the next 50 years. And in India, I think that's been moved forward very quickly. There are ambitious goals, but still we need to overcome some barriers, whether they're policy or financial barriers, and that's the same in different parts of the world.
I understand that something like $6 trillion worth of investment is needed for SDG goals to be met, which includes climate change goals. Now, for that kind of level of investment, we have no option but to rely on wherever the investors happen to be. And at the moment, the largest pool of investors tend to be in the richer countries. And the way that they will typically invest is through the bond market. And so green bonds, which are identifying projects which have got 100% green characteristics, we have to really mobilize these to get those kind of flows from investors to the projects.
Message for the future, I think, look, it's the younger people who have the biggest stake in making sure that this happens, because they're the ones who are going to be alive in 2050. And even more importantly, that's when their children will be growing up. So frankly, they need to have a very strong voice in pushing for policies that would be good over the longer run.
We're seeing now the beginnings of the impacts of climate change and water shortages in big cities, in extreme heat and forest fires. This is only going to get worse unless we take action now. And it's probably not my life that's going to be very effective because I'm getting older. But for young people, this is a major issue.
And the only way to shape the future, my message to the youth, is to make it happen.
Like in Europe and other parts of the world, we see young people demanding action on climate. I think it's right in other countries too. If they make their voices heard, if they have concerns over climate, they should voice those, because the political leaders need to understand people's concerns and the seriousness of the risks posed by climate change.
So in these next 80 years, someone born today will have their lifetime to spend in driving this energy transition.